Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you don't know who I am, my name is Nthabi and welcome to the place where we have fun and do fun things. And if that's your vibe, please stick around, subscribe, and let's enjoy each other's company. Anyway, so today, as you guessed it, another episode of my review slash recap slash commentary on The Wife on Showmax. And this week we'll be doing them on episodes 13 to 15. So if that's something that you wanna, hear about, watch, please stay tuned. Okay guys, I feel like I should put it out there that these episodes packed a lot of punch. A lot of things were happening, much like what happened last week. But I think this is just going to be the general consensus of things. This is just how things are going to flow. Like, there's going to be a lot of things happening, considering it's only, 3 episodes a week. So, we're covering a lot of ground. A lot is going to happen. And I think I'm okay with it now. I've gotten used to it, so let's go with it. Anyway, so starting with episode 13. Not episode 3, child. But anyway, starting with episode 13. So some of the things that stood out for me in episode 13 were the fact that so Kawe he saw the bruises on Khlomu's back, right, in one of the scenes in the kitchen where they were alone together, and she was wearing like a nice spaghetti top situation. So I think she wasn't aware, well obviously she wasn't aware that she had bruises on her back. So Kawe was the one to spot them, and he's like, what happened to your back? Knowing good and well that whatever answer was going to come out of her mouth, if it was not going to be because it's Mkhele, he knew she was lying. But anyway, went with it anyway. So she was like, no, knocked over some cupboards at work. How, ma'am? How? But anyway, I'm just not going to dwell on that because, hey, you gotta lie on the spot, right? So she said she bumped into cupboards at work. And I don't like how Kawe was like, oh, it's Mkhele's handiwork, right? Like, he said it so nonchalant, like it's a normal thing. Like it's something that is expected. It's usual. It's normal. No. No. You should have been furious, my guy. You should have been blowing your cap off. You should have been like, you know what? I'm going to fetch him now. And I'm going to beat him up. Or something. Just not how he responded. Because I was just like, okay. So which means it's one of those best known. We can't even call it a secret. Because if everybody knows about it in the family, then it's not really a secret. But then also, then it means nobody's holding him accountable for it. If it's a normal occurrence. Like, it's just, I don't like it. But yeah, he was just like, it's Mkhele's handiwork. And obviously Khlomu being Khlomu was like, no, Mkhele, like, please, man, samsugela. No. And then obviously exited stage left because she was just like, I can't keep this up. He's eventually gonna break me. So those are one of the moments where I was just like, I don't like how it's normalized that Mkhele beats up women, that even his brothers, worst of all Kawe, who's like almost his twin, knows, and like it's a comfortable thing, like it's a usual kind of thing. Like that's just mad. That's just moving mad. Anyway, another thing is so Mkhele, which I'm suspecting he bought the car before he left for Durban to fetch Khlomu. So the car gets delivered and he surprises her with it. And obviously Khlomu is like, oh, Zulu, thank you so much. It's a pretty car. It's a Mini Cooper, guys. Like, come on. But also, like, for me, it kind of reinforced that thing. Hey, show me. Get the relationship with the I'm not sure, hey? I'm really not sure. But for me, that emphasized how Khlomu, like, really, like, had forgiven, like, Mkhele. Like, it was crazy. Like, I know she had forgiven him because by virtue of the fact that she got into that car to drive back to Joburg with him was enough reason. But seeing her get that car and seeing like the delight and the ecstasy in her eyes and in her face was just like, oh girl, you're really in deep. Like you're really in it. Like in it. Whereas you will make every and any excuse under the sun to protect Mkele because you are really in love with him and all that comes with him. Like, I mean, he didn't even have to buy the car, you know, but he did. And the like, hey, dog, I'm not gonna judge or anything. Well, no, I'm judging harsh. But you know. So another thing is that eventually then Shomu decided to confide in Kawe about what really happened to Nkele, and why he came home with bruises and why he wasn't around when like they had a big job and all of that nonsense, because Nkele didn't want to say because apparently he was too embarrassed to tell his brothers what really happened, because he's going to be ashamed, like they're going to basically be ashamed of him, the fact that he raised his hands on her. So now I see the flip in the story, because in the initial book, the brothers, well, Kawe knew. I don't know about the rest of the brothers though, but Kawe knew that Mkele put his hands on Shlomu and then became like proper his brother's keeper, whereas Shlomu's family knew nothing of the sort. Whereas in the series now we're seeing that Shlomu's family knows everything, but it's actually Kawe who's the only one that knows. Well, is it really much of a difference? There's a difference in how it's handled, not necessarily in who knows. Well, yeah, there is a difference because Shlomu's family didn't know, but this time around they know. Whereas with, you know, Nkale's family, only Kawe knows. Only because he dug a little bit deeper, which I'm really grateful for. But also one thing that I didn't necessarily agree with was the fact that he didn't then like approach Mkele about it, like on some, dude, I know what you did. What you did was messed up, and basically just hold him accountable for it. But instead, he's letting him believe that he knows nothing, which I'm not comfortable with. Which I can understand in the grander scheme of things, because Shlomu, when she did confide in him, she did say, please don't tell anyone. And I think it's an act of honoring and, yeah, like honoring her trust. But I still don't agree with it. Like, spill the beans. Nah! Spill those beans, child. Please. But yeah, like, I don't like the fact that even with the knowledge that he knows, he helped cover it up to his brothers, but still didn't approach him about it and hold him accountable. You know what I mean? Like, I wonder then, like, what's going to happen going forward and stuff. Like, if he's ever going to approach him about it or not. I would prefer that he does, so that Nkele knows that somebody knows that, you know, because, you know, secret, like, abuse thrives in secrecy. So I hope that someone in his family knows, so that he can be proper embarrassment, so that he can be proper ashamed, because he deserves nothing less. But yeah, anyway. And I also think, also because of that, by Mkele not being honest with his brothers, is making it so much harder for them to actually really figure out who is behind these attacks on them. Like, it's not helping the situation at all. Like, his personal struggles are not helping them as a family, as well as them professionally at all. And I'm honestly, like, so annoyed at that storyline. Yabo, keep among those guys, the Majola boys. Guys, it must just pass. Like, I'm over it. Anyway, so episode 14. The conversation between Langa and Shlomu. To say I was annoyed and I understood Langa's standpoint is an understatement. Especially because Langa had just moved to Joburg, obviously moving in with Shlomu at her apartment because he recently got a job and all of that stuff. And then, like, so they're talking about, So it's just random conversations, random chats, right? And they're talking about how, like, just because now you have a job, you can't be spending all your money on clothes. And then Langa's like, please, I have to sleep all the time, my guy. It's like, no, but we still have to help out, go high and whatever. And then Khomu says, actually, we should go out tonight for dinner. And then he's like, but wait a minute, go out. You should be talking about cooking, girl. Like, what are you cooking instead of us going out and spending money? And then obviously she's like, oh no, I'm so tired. I've been cooking at my in-laws. That was Langa. Langa was so bored with that statement because he's like, you still go there, bruh. And she's like, yes, I still go there. Got confidence and when you're too Bob. It's like, yes, I still go there. And then Langa's like, I bruh, I don't understand why you still cooking or why you basically are still there with that thug and his family. And she got so defensive, like on some, my man is not a thug. His name is Mkhele and I love him. And I think this was the point that really like grated every piece of my flesh when she says, I mean, like that man loves me, I love him, siyathandana. And he takes care of me. But he even bought me a car. We're just in love. And I'm just like, so that's all it takes. So thing is, man, guys, like, I don't know, Khomu annoys me. Like, now she annoys me because it feels like all logic has left the building. And not just logic, but just intelligence, I think. Or like lebaring, guys. And this is a huge disclaimer. For yes, this story makes like it look like a normal occurrence to forgive and take back your abuser. Please don't do that. This is not normal life. That's not how life should be lived. Should not be getting beat up by someone who says they love you. That is not love. I will say this over and over and over again. It is not love. Let's not romanticize it. Yes, in the show it's being romanticized, and I think maybe that's like my biggest pet peeve about it currently at the stage where it is that I'm still not over the fact that he beat her up so senselessly, and then like she lapped it up and then like got mad, but then was so quick to forgive him on some, I love him, we love each other, it was a mistake. It was not a mistake, ma'am. That was premeditated. It was not a mistake, it was planned. The more he got angry, the more the thought grew in his mind, and therefore he acted on it. You understand? He drove all the way to your flat to come with one intention, and that was to teach you a lesson. And that lesson was to what? To beat you up, so that you never think of ever doing that again. So how is that even a mistake? So that is just a disclaimer that I wanted to put out, just in case you thought that I enjoy the show and that I condone this kind of behavior. No, I don't condone it at all. So please do yourself a favor. If you've ever been in a relationship with someone hate you, even if it was just empama, Joe, please, it's fine. You can forgive the person, because I get it, forgiveness is for us, it's not for the next person, so that we can be released from it. But it doesn't mean you have to take them back. It doesn't mean they have to be in your life still. Now I'm a firm believer in forgiveness as well, but not for the next person, but rather for yourself to be released from it. So that's okay. Whenever you do forgive, but also move on, because that person doesn't love you anyway. Sorry for my tangent. So yeah, like that really annoyed me. Like, I could understand Langa's frustration in that moment, because no matter what he would say, nothing would get through to her, because girl is in love. I think it's deep infatuation, but we'll call it love. Also for the fact that she sounds very delusional. That's also another thing that I picked up, is that it's so delusional. Mistake is an accident, like an accident on the road. A mistake is slipping and falling, she really sounds delusional, and it's grating every piece of my flesh. That is that is just how it is right now, right? Okay, so also what happened in episode 14 was the proposal. Huh? It was sweet. It was sweet because it was at the place that they met, which tells me that Nkele can be sentimental and a human being, and he planned it all out meticulously. I think it was very sweet because he was then very intentional about it. But also, I hated the fact that then it was cut short because of the Majola storyline, with now they burnt down their house. Also, guys, how do these people not have security on site? Knowing the line of business that they're in and the kind of enemies that they have, how do they not have security on site? Honey, they live in that house, Bali 7, and they can look after themselves. But not having security. Why was it so easy to burn down your house? Why was it so easy to gain access into your house and then burn it down? But then, let me tell you something about that fire. My favorite moment was Men on Fire. Nkosana, Nthabi Ndala, walking out with a bag of money and then his jacket burning up. I was like, yo, some serious action movie stuff happening here. Listen, okay? That was funny though. And also because also when they got in and we saw the fire, I was like, it also hit me that, hey, brothers, cash in that house, huge bank in that house. So even if it burns down, somebody must make sure that money comes out. Otherwise, you guys are broke. You're back to square one. And what's gonna happen? Because now you got knocked the last hit, so vele, there's no money. So when Nkosana went in for the money, I was like, focused gent. Absolutely enjoyed that about the episode. Also, during the proposal, which kind of gives me I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. Everybody was happy and whatever. And Kawe was still in the background. He couldn't fully be happy, fully be present for his brother. But I really don't think it's about the fact that he's still not over Shomu. But I think it's that thing, Hori, being his brother's keeper. Which I still don't think he's doing a good job about. But he's being loyal. Right? Where, because he knows what happened basically in their relationship, and basically Shomu accepting the proposal and realizing the fact that this is gonna be the rest of your life. Your life is basically messed up, my baby. My baby, your life. You just signed up for a life that you don't know what you signed up for, basically. Especially considering, I remember a couple of episodes ago when Kawa is like, I know you, talking to Mkele, and he's like, I know you, I know the type of person that you are. Beautiful things don't stay in your hands. You're going to ruin that girl's life. So I think I basically connected it to that. Or in as much as he can say okay, I'm happy for my brother, he found a woman that, he cares about and all of those things. But also I know the monster that is my brother, and I know that potentially this is the worst decision of this girl's life because she doesn't know what she's getting herself into. This guy is toxic. But then obviously that loyalty of brotherhood and whatever, basically he's not gonna mess it up. But it doesn't mean that he's fully on board. But it also doesn't mean that he's also not on board. I don't know, man. It's just a confusing time. Okay. So now in episode 15. Guys, episode 15, Leona. It's Shomu's Umemulo. I just want to highlight how Sandile has the liver of steel. Let's just put it out there. Sandile has a liver of steel because Ejo, You moving out of that apartment, you were beat up and basically kicked out of that apartment. And then you want to come back and mess with the same guys again? Like, male ego is something else, isn't it? Like, I just have to attribute it. Apart from him having a lever, it's definitely male ego. Because, no way, my guy. Firstly, it's the dad that invited him there because obviously we know the dad is not Mqhele's #1 fan. We saw it in the beatings and in everything, right? Which is understandable. No man is ever going to accept a man that beats his child. There is no way you are ever going to do that. So that I get. But then him inviting Zandile just to try and bring Hlomu back to earth was very guihinyan. Like, it was a bit sus. But yeah, we understand, you know, daddy wants best for his daughter. So we get that little pause. But also, Sandile accepting that invitation, I felt like, you're trying too much, my guy. But also, I think also with Sandile, what he's not getting, what's not registering to him is the fact that I think he's not aware that Hlomu is really over him. Like, as in, wants nothing to do with him. I think he thinks in his mind he still stands a chance, and the fact that, like, she's just infatuated with Mqhele and the different kind of lifestyle that he's living, and like basically she's still on cloud 9, and it's just infatuation and not necessarily anything serious, right? I think that's what it is. I think that's really what it is. He thinks he still stands a chance with him, which is why he's so, which is behind the whole bravado image and whatever, which I find sad. Because he wasn't present in the relationship to notice that this girl emotionally left the relationship before she actually broke up with him. And now he's not aware that she's actually over him. Like, he's feeding himself stories. You can tell he's feeding himself stories and information that Hlomu, like, will, you know, get back together with him. Which is not the case. Which is really not the case. So I find it sad. I find it daring. But also, like, stupid. So he was braggadocious, you know. Tried to talk to her. Hlomu walked away. He got mad, you know. Threw those little temper tantrums that he likes throwing like a child. And then during the actual Umemulo, when, you know, the spears and the what's, and where basically they shower Hlomu with bank, Lerato put the spear next to him. Well, not in front of him. Next to him, like, in front of the friend. And he was like, no. And he took the spear. And the whole time he was looking at Mqhele, taking out his whole salary out of his, and then just making it rain. And you could tell that, like, and that's my problem with Sandile. It's never about Hlomu. It's always about, like, upstaging. It's always about, like, about ulterior motives with this guy. It's never about Hlomu. Like, Hlomu is not his priority. It's literally everything else around it. Like, because you can see it even with this, that it wasn't about Hlomu. It wasn't about getting Hlomu back. It was about upstaging Mqhele. And I mean, a taxi owner. Really? Really, my guy? A taxi owner? Oh, you're not gonna do that. Anyway, so he did what he did. And whatever, you know, braggadocious ego now is up here. And then Hlomu shows him again that, dude, you're a non-factor in my life. I don't want you. I don't know how much more louder she can say it for him to actually get it. Because when she took the spear to Mqhele, like, Sandile was surprised. How are you surprised? Like, how are you surprised? This woman said she loves this man and she wants to be with him, and that's that. Like, even if he beats her up, like, that's that. She made her choice. How then Kyle comes through, drops 100 rand. Ole watching Sandile on some. Yeah, he's a broke boy. Guy! Then the Three Musketeers, my favorite trio on earth. Batlaka di beke. Chelete so money, making it rain. And then they changed the song to some funny song about Sandile being a nuisance and Orwa Papa. Found that so funny. I enjoyed that. And obviously because Sandile Nalpilwekana Hangala, he stood up and stormed out of the yard. And I'm like, what did you think was gonna happen? Like, what was your thinking? And then obviously they got into a brawl outside. And then Shomu, saw it all happen and then went to her dad on some, why did you do that? Why did you invite Sandile? Now, you just caused me major embarrassment. Which, true, because had Sandile not been there, like, that fight wouldn't have happened. And the dad obviously used that opportunity to tell her, but I can't let you marry a guy that beats you. Like, I can't. And he's like, no. He said he'll never do it again. She was too quick with that answer. She was way too quick with that answer. And then the dad obviously is like, that's what they all say, which is true. It's what they all say. But also, guys, I just want to know, like, what constitutes a reformed abuser? Like, can someone who beats their partner ever say, or abuses them in any way, can they ever really say that they are reformed? Can they ever change? Can they ever be rehabilitated? I'm just curious. I'm not instigating anything. I just want to know, like, do you think so? If you think so, please drop a comment in the comment section. No, but, like, what constitutes a reformed abuser? Like, what work needs to happen for someone to really change and not abuse their loved ones? Yeah, their partner or their loved ones. Because I'm really curious. Or, like, does it even exist? Does that kind of rehabilitation even exist? Can we really say, like, a person has changed? Or, like, does it happen on a psychological level? Because I know of some people that, like, will even say that it's your fault that I'm beating you. And it's like, what? Anyway, so, apart from that, then, like, obviously Shomu pled her case from Kele, like, with the fact that, like, she's happy with him. If her dad wants her to be miserable, he must continue doing what he's doing. But, like, she genuinely loves him. And then walked away. And then the dad obviously came to his senses. No, I don't think he came to his senses. It's just that thing, Yahora, like, he had to surrender. It wasn't even about coming to his senses. He had to surrender to what she wanted because she was going to do what she wanted anyway. So he'd rather be in the loop than out of it. So he's like, he basically says, you know what, I see how determined you are. You can marry this guy, but I don't know, like, what's gonna happen, because I'm not gonna be there to protect you. But it's your life to live, and if you are signing yourself up for a life of beatings and abuse and just mayhem, I'm afraid I can't make that decision for you. Which is true. He really can't make that decision for her. But it's sad. Like, it's really sad. I'm really sad for Shomu. Like, I'm trying to be happy for her, and, like, with the, the things that are happening in her life and the progress and whatever, but I'm really sad for her. Basically, I'm sad for her because this is the guy that she fell head over heels in love with in a toxic love situation. And this is the hill that she's chosen. And it's like, shucks, it may not have been Sandile, but Nkele, oof, that's a lot. That's really a lot. But yeah, guys, basically that's what happened this week. It packed a lot of punch. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the Umemulo a lot. I think that was my highlight in this week's episodes, was the Umemulo and Sandile's nonsense. I really did enjoy that. I enjoyed watching that. It was really like, wow, dude, this you. But otherwise, tell me what you enjoyed, what you noticed in the comment section, and tell me how you enjoyed the episodes. If you did, if you didn't, that's also fine. You can tell me what you didn't enjoy about it. But otherwise, thank you so much for tuning into this week's recap and commentary of The Wife on Showmax. And if you still haven't watched it, please do yourself a favor and go to Showmax and catch up. Plus now there's like a lot of episodes, so you can proper binge, which we didn't get to do, because now we literally live for Thursdays to see what's coming up next. But at least when now, you can proper binge from episode 1 to 15. I'm telling you. So go ahead and watch it. But otherwise, please don't forget to share, comment, like, subscribe. And I'll see you guys next week. Cheers.